All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Let's pick it up at John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. Another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accused you, Moses, of whom you trust. But had you believed Moses, you would have believed me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Shalom, man. Where we at? Ephesians 3 and 14. Ephesians 3 and 14. Y'all seen that? That's some niggas who got too much time on their hands. You need it up. Much time on their hands. For this cause I bow my knees under the Abba of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, of whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named, that he would grant you, according to the riches of his esteem, to be strengthened with might by his ruach in the inner man, that Mashiach may dwell in your hearts by faith, that you being rooted and grounded in love, be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth, length, depth, and height, and to know the love of Mashiach which pass knowledge, that you might be filled with all the fullness of Elohim. Shalom, man. Come over here to Micah chapter 5. I'll go ahead and knock Bethlehem out right now. Look, hey, you know about Bethlehem? You know? Okay, bye-bye then. Oh, you PP? Okay. Thank you for sharing. He said, now gather yourselves in troops, O daughter of troops. He have laid siege against us. They smite the judge of Yasharal with a rod upon the cheek. That should be very easy. Who can discern what this is? This should be very easy. Very, very easy. Y'all should be able to pinpoint that one pretty quickly.
Oh, there's something that we're not talking about.
We need specifics, son. That's too general. Yeah, they'll tell you about that. We don't do general. Yeah, of course. That's easy if I say, oh, that's Yahushua. That didn't answer my question. And they know that, so don't think that's for you. They know they can't get away with answering that question like that. They say, gather yourselves in troops, O daughter of troops. Ye have laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Yasharal upon with a rod upon the cheek. You got to be able to answer that, son. Siege, if you don't know the word, is matzor. It's siege. It's entrenchment, an enclosure, a rampart. Y'all familiar with the word rampart? I know you know about rampart. I'm being serious. Y'all ain't never. Yeah, you know about rampart. I only say that because you live in LA. The rampart, yeah. You know the rampart division of the LAPD that was putting fake cases on me. Y'all don't know about that?
Oh, I know you know.
Oh no, I think that's stupid. No, but you know there was a division at LAPD called Rampart, and I think they got disbanded probably like the early 2000s somewhere in there. Man, they were putting fake cases on niggas and all that stuff. Niggas know.
Stop making them mad.
Hold on, I give you the exact definition of rampart for your pleasures. It's a defensive wall or castle of a walled city. That's what a rampart is. So it says, gather yourselves in troops, O daughter of troops. He's laid a siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Yasharal with a rod upon the cheek. Now, of course, smite is nakah, is to beat, to slay, to kill, to be stricken, to be smitten, to chastise, to send judgment upon, to punish, to destroy. Maybe that'll help you out a little bit. Okay, and that's good, but I don't need nothing out the old. All the old would do was support what this is talking about. But you got to be able to know, gather yourselves in troops, O daughter of troops. He have laid a bulwark or a wall against us, and he will kill the judge of Yasharal with a rod upon the cheek.
I'm talking about
No, not at all. Not at all. This is pretty easy. Y'all should be able to pinpoint it. This is pretty easy. Huh? Come on, let's look at this. It did hit him with a rod. Come over here to Matthew 26.
Matthew 26.
Let's look at the gathering of the troops.
Hey, which one?
26 and 45.
You want to get the bed?
26 and 45. Then come he to his disciples and said unto them, sleep on now, take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hand of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that do betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came with a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave him a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, the same as he, hold him fast. Forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, hail, master, and kissed him. Yahushua said to him, friend, wherefore are you come? Then came they, and they laid hands on Yahushua and took him. Behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then said Yahushua unto them, put up again your sword into his place. All they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Think you now that I can't pray to my Abba? And he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels. But then how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled that it must be? And in that same hour, Yahushua said, Yahushua to the multitudes, are you come out against the thief with sword and staves to take me? I sat daily with you in teaching in the temple, and you laid no hold on me. So you see that he say, gather the troops. The gathering of the troops is the scribes gathering those men who came to get him. Now, of course, you know what the smiting is. You know that they killed him. That's self-explanatory. Let's go over here to 27 and see how they slapped the man right upside his head. And 27. He said, then the soldiers of the governor took Yahushua into the common hall, gathered him under him the whole band of soldiers, stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it upon the head and the reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, hail, Malach of the Yahudim. And they spit upon him and took the reed, smote him on the head. Now, this just leads into this suffering. Now, go back to verse 2 of Micah 5. Before it even gets to the come down, it goes straight into what's going to happen to him. Now we come here to verse 2 of Micah chapter 5. It says, but you, Bethlehem, are Raptor, so you be little among the thousands of Yehudah. Yet out of you shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Yasharal, whose going forth have been from old, from everlasting. Therefore he will give them up until the time which ye travail have brought forth. The remnant of his brethren shall return unto the sons of Yasharal. He shall stand and feed in the strength of Yahuwah. In the majesty and the name of Yahuwah his Elohim, they shall abide, for now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth. Now, let's look at this city, Bethlehem. That's why we started here. You know what Bethlehem means, son? That's unfortunate. Did any one of you know what it means? Who on here know what Bethlehem means? Just so you know, it's two Bethlehems. You know that?
Two cities of Bethlehem.
Yeah, there's multiple cities in the land of Yasharal with the same name, just in different locations.
I thought it was one of the opposite, one of these. You know, there's Bethlehem. It is one of the.
We're not talking about something. Why would we be discussing South Africa? We talking about our land. I don't care about South Africa. That's why that's why I had it told everybody, clearly you didn't do it, to read in the book of Joshua every tribe's division out of inheritance, because it would list certain cities. Because there's a Bethlehem and Zebulon. That's why I tell you Bethlehem or Rapture, to let you know that it's talking about the city of David and where he comes from. It is. It is. And that's because that's where David is from. Matter of fact, let's take a look at that in 1 Samuel 16. Because if y'all recall, we read last night how the scribe said that the script don't say nothing about a prophet coming out of Galilee, because they did not know that he was born in Bethlehem. Because why wouldn't they know that? Because the general consensus during that time, and that's correct, Ron, Bethlehem means house of bread, is that you were born in whatever city you lived in. See, now that's customary. Somebody be like, oh yeah, like Stanley said, I was born in Brooklyn, but I lived in Jacksonville my whole life. But if he told somebody, if he would have came and told somebody he was from there, and everybody from around there, and ain't nobody knew him, that he was born there, they're going to say, nigga, you ain't from here. You from such and such. And that's how they did the Lord, because they knew that the Messiah was to come out of Bethlehem, and all they knew was he from Galilee. He from Nazareth. He not from Bethlehem. See, that's the beauty of Yahuwah. He covered their eye. They didn't know. You know why he did that there? Because while you trying to pinpoint the city where he from, the works that he was doing was supposed to tell you that that's the one of our son. And on top of that, you stupid niggas probably didn't even ask where he was born at. Probably didn't even ask. Ain't no problem. I know they didn't ask. But also, if we take it and culturally at that time, I could understand why they wouldn't have asked. We probably try to y'all willing to do the two cities that David is known for. Besides Bethlehem, what's the other city David known for? Bethlehem. There you go. Look at it. Look at it. He's trying to get his game tight in his mind right. I see you, boy. One day you're gonna be on point. (16-4), man. Well, 16-1 if you would.
Hey, you don't have to sit down. Sit down. Sit down and sit.
And Yahuwah said unto Samuel, how long will you mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Yasharal? Fill your horn with oil and go, and I will send you to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. Yahuwah said, take a heifer with you, and say, I'll come to sacrifice to Yahuwah. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show what you shall do, and you shall anoint unto me him whom I name unto you. Samuel did that which Yahuwah spoke and came to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming and said, come you peaceably. So we just established this is where Jesse's paddock's from. Swing over here to chapter 17. Pick it up at verse 12. Just for another witness. Now David was the son of that Arephatite of Bethlehem, Yehudah, whose name was Jesse. He had 8 sons, and the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. The name of the 3 sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, the next under him, Abinadab, and the third Shammah, and David was the youngest, and the 3 eldest followed Saul. And then I'm going to ask you this question right here. Now, what did it say about David, what he was out of his brothers? What was it? He was youngest. Now, there's a statement made in 1 Corinthians chapter 1 about who Yahuwah calls. Does anybody know who Yahuwah calls? The type of people that he calls? Huh? No, not on that one there. That one there, those are the ones who are going to dwell with him. I'm telling you where it's at. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. He tell you who it is that he calls. So that's giving you time to look and see where he calls so you can answer that question.
1 Corinthians chapter 1.
Let's see, Johnny, you remember what David's name means, Johnny? Okay, look at it. He cheesing. Don't pull it around and go to cheese. Because I know you know that. So we see that the beloved comes from the house of bread. We also see that Yahushua was where? In the house of bread. Or salvation is born in the house of bread. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes down to it, what have I found of the type of people that Elohim calls in 1 Corinthians chapter 1? What have you located? Bird. 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 Go sit down. Y'all found it yet? I'll give you a hint. Go on and drop down about verse 25 and read from that. Maybe let's get it up for you. But Joe. Not the mighty, not the noblest, but the base and contemptible things. Now, what y'all know from David and Goliath's story, right? How was David viewed upon everybody when he was out there? Small, ridiculed because he was the youngest. What was David's occupation? He was a shepherd boy. But he didn't call his oldest brother. See, come back over here to 1 Samuel 16 and look at what he said. And when it come down to him looking at his brothers, look at verse 5. There you go. He used the foolish things that confound the wise, things of that nature. The type of people that Yahuwah calls to use are never going to be congruent of what man looks at. Because if you recall from Luke 16 and 15, he said that which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination to Allah. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I mentioned to you, niggas getting happy like, okay, they've been running that clip. Carmelo, no, we an Israelite. T.I. know this here. Yahuwah wouldn't use men like that. That's not who he gonna use. He not gonna use them. That's not to say that they can't be saved, but he not gonna use them. Because the honor and esteem ain't gonna go to Yahuwah. The honor and esteem is gonna go to them. When you look at Moses, when did he go grab Moses? After Moses has refused to be called Pharaoh's daughter and departed from Pharaoh's house and was out somewhere for 40 years. By the time he returned, he had no station amongst those people. When have you ever seen Yahuwah use somebody of high station to tear down anything? He's never done that. That's not, matter of fact, we didn't talk about it plenty of times. When they go out to war, Yahuwah sends as few people as possible, though. Few people as possible. Because he don't want you to get lifted up in your heart and say, you won this battle. You know what I'm saying? But see, nobody want to talk about that. That too. He definitely don't dwell in uncleanliness. And you would think, my man, that would be common sense. Because you would think that somebody would know that Carmelo, T.I., and Ice Cube are sinners to the foot. So why would Yahuwah use a transgressor to promote righteousness? Common sense ought to tell you that. One thing for certain, two things for sure. A sinner can't save another sinner. I'm here to tell you. If your soul ain't saved and your heart ain't clean, how you gonna pull a nigga out the fire? Two crackheads can't get each other off crack, just like two drowning niggas can't save a nigga out that water. Both of you niggas finna die. But see, people in the who deal with word, they don't believe that. See, we keep these commandments to the best of our ability. You ain't saved yourself, so how you gonna save me? That's what he told you in Romans chapter 2. He told you that in Romans 2, man. How you gonna say you a bringer of light and a teacher of babes and an instructor of the foolish, and you ain't taught yourself? That's why I be telling you what I be telling you. You ain't taught yourself. You ain't got no business talking script to nobody. You ain't got no business rebuking nobody. Because you know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen? That 1 Samuel, what's gonna happen? When David was like, that man ought to die. No, that man is you. That's what's gonna happen. That same judgment you trying to render to somebody else, it's gonna come right back in your head. It don't matter that you ain't beating your meat, but your heart ain't right because you malicious and you spiteful and you quick to wrath. So you ain't no different than a nigga beat his meat. See, that's what's wrong with you niggas. See, you niggas look at a nigga who commit adultery or a nigga who fornicate or somebody who lie, and you think I'm straight because I don't do that, but you still don't like, you lack proper judgment, you uncompassionate, you lack mercy, you don't keep your word, you spiteful, you cause heresies, you're wrathful, you ain't no different than him. So you ain't got no business opening your mouth. Cleanse your heart and then open your mouth. Can't do it. Because you know what the book say? A spiritual man judges all things and is judged by no man. So if a nigga can judge you, guess what that means? And when they talk about judgment is not stoning somebody. It's saying that you were wrong in these areas. And if somebody can point that out to you, you ain't got no business trying to rebuke nobody and running your mouth. And I done told you that too many times, but you know what? You got to do what you want to do. Can't do that. Can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what people in the word, they be quick to do. Talk about what somebody else doing. Why you worrying about what somebody else doing? That ain't your job. You a watchman. I ain't think so. Ain't nobody hired you. Did somebody hire you? Ain't nobody hire you. And I ain't just talking about you specifically. I can say this in general. You ain't got no job. So your only job, truth be told, is to rebuke your brother if you see your brother out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? Not if somebody told you he was out of pocket, but you see he out of pocket. See Paul. In Leviticus 19, right, it told you not to bear the grudge against the children of your people. But what else did it tell you to do? If you don't know, you might want to go to Leviticus 19 and look through there and tell me what it says.
It said, don't suffer your brother for sin, right?
Don't suffer any wise rebuke your neighbor, and don't suffer sin upon it. That's what it say. You know what I'm saying? That's what it say. It say don't bear no grudge. Well, you know how many people who in this world going to hell because they hold grudges? Well, that's violation of Torah because you holding a grudge. He said don't bear no grudge. Come on here and look at it, man. So y'all just think I ain't making this up. Leviticus 19. We come back to Micah 5 in a second. 19 and 17. Liddell, you ain't grown in 6 months, bro. It's a small boy. Shoot, don't feel bad. Shoot, Muffin Man ain't grown either. It took Abigail years to grow. And one day he gonna come up there and stand and look up this nigga 6'4". I'm gonna have to hit him with a bat. He said, you shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall anywise rebuke your neighbor and not suffer sin upon it. You shall not avenge nor bear any grudge against the sons of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Now let's look at that word for grudge. It's natar.
What's a grudge?
This text right here say a grudge is to keep, to guard, to reserve, or to maintain. So you're maintaining some type of angst, vitriol, anger, whatever the case you want to be against another individual. No, he said to keep or to maintain. But truth be told in the text, you can't cut ties if they repent. Can't do it. But then you wouldn't have to. Oh, when we talk about it, no, when he say your neighbor, he talking about somebody who in the word.
Oh, he's talking about people that's in the word.
He talking about people in the word. He ain't talking about people outside the word. He talking about people who in the word. See, come over here to Colossians chapter 3. Let me show you what I mean, what I say what I mean. See, now when you mention go up and down like a talebearer in the text means slander. See, a lot of people see talebearer and they think it means gossip. That's not what that means. A talebearer in Hebrew means you're slandering someone. You have lied on them. Can't do that. Chapter 3. You all right, sir? You need a chair? Because you're standing there like you want to play basketball, but ain't nobody pitch on you.
Boy, you definitely boy. Hey, that's how y'all gonna do me.
That's how y'all gonna do me. Y'all don't see me?
Don't see this?
Nigga, I ball, huh? This what I do.
Y'all don't see this thing? See this afternoon? I mean, I hope. I'm on 2K on the bar.
At the bar, I got this. You got that? I can run with you. That's what he be doing. Niggas say I can run with you. I'm gonna see cuz. Then the next nigga get on court, pick a team. Next thing you know, 5 games don't went past. Y'all ain't gonna pick it up. That's what I can be doing. Hey, Colossians 3, man. Pick it up at verse 7, man. Matter of fact, make that 5, man. Colossians 3 and 5. Because I got a good question for everybody. But I'm a build up to it. It's a crescendo. You know what a crescendo is? Google it. That means the apex, man. Apex.
I was trying to get my context.
Because he's a musician. We know you know. But you's a poet. But you know all the literary devices. But you don't know a crescendo.
I brought
Just the apex, the climax.
that's something I didn't know. I have poetry. The crescendo is the period before the cloud.
Yeah.
Leading up until oh, I don't know.
Nigga, hyperbole means a nigga who running their mouth. That means nothing about what they're talking about. You're just talking just to talk. That's what hyperbole is. You do that a lot. You are the king of hyperbole.
That's why he asked.
You're the king of it. You have mastered hyperbole. If you have not mastered anything else in life, you have mastered hyperbole. You're being serious, nigga. Hyperbole is something that Max Kellerman does on First Take every day. That's a nigga who just be talking just to be talking. Ain't got no facts, ain't got no plan, ain't got no solution. It just sounds good.
That's your favorite.
Max Kellerman.
No, I like
Yeah.
No, I said hyperbole. That's your favorite literary.
And that's what that nigga do.
No.
Hyperbole. That nigga has lived a life of hyperbole.
I like it.
Colossians 3:5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth. Fornication, uncleanliness, inordinate affection, conspicuous and covetousness, which is idolatry. For which things sake the wrath of Elohim come on the sons of disobedience, in which you also walked sometime when you lived in them. But now you also put off all of these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another, seeing that you put off the old man with his deeds. Now pause. Come to Zechariah chapter 8, because he told you not to lie to each other. And boy, you know you good for spitting them out like grape seeds. That's what you like to do. I'm just busting your ball, but I'm telling you the truth at the same time. So boy, you definitely shoot a nigga one. On the house. No reason. Matter of fact, make it Zechariah 7 and 8, man. 7 8. Well, I can read both. I wasn't trying to do both, but I'll do both. Zechariah chapter 7 and verse 8, and after that, chapter 8, verse 16. Said, and the word of Yahuwah came unto Zechariah, saying, speak, thus speaketh Yahuwah of hosts, execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassions every man to his brother. Oppress not the widow, or the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. Notice what he say, brother. You already know who that is. Those are those who do the will of Elohim. Now, you ain't supposed to do it to people outside the word, but you're supposed to be, how can I put this here? The magnification of your compassion and your conduct to somebody inside the house is supposed to be way higher than somebody outside of it. You understand? 8 and 16 of the book of Zechariah. He said, these are the things that you shall do. Speak you every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, of no false oath. For all these things that I hate, saith Yahuwah. So look at what he say he hates. When you imagine evil in your heart against your neighbor, and when you give false oaths. Y'all know what it is to give an oath, ain't it? What it is to give a false oath, son? You don't know?
Well, when you tell somebody that you're gonna do something you don't do,
That's not a no, son. That's why I asked you that. That's not a no, son. I definitely wasn't asking you that to be funny. I'm asking you that because maybe you don't know. Who knows what it is to give an oath in this text? As Yahuwah lives, an oath is when you swear by Yahuwah. That's when you swear by Yahuwah. What did Yahushua tell you about a vow? A vow and an oath is the same thing. He said, don't make no vows. As a matter of fact, Solomon told you that too. Solomon said it's better for you to not vow than to vow and not pay, because Yahuwah will require it from you. Yahushua told you, do not vow or make an oath. Come over here to Matthew chapter 5. I'll let you see it, please.
is it what happened to that one dude's daughter? She died.
She did not die. She was a virgin for the rest of her life. He did not die. Because if you recall the text, he's talking about Jephthah. Y'all remember Jephthah in the book of Judges? You remember Jephthah? What happened with Jephthah? Tell him what happened with Jephthah. No, I'm telling you, tell him.
Oh, Jephthah was one of the judges. He went and fought in the battle. He said the first thing he see when he come back from the battle, he knew it.
And what did it say that the people did with his daughter after he did that? Do you recall?
I don't know. No.
Y'all recall? Who recalls what happened with? See, I'm gonna show you. Praise the Lamb. They mourned. That's right. They mourned. Do you know what they were mourning for? Who recalls what they were mourning for? Her virginity. They weren't mourning because she was finna die. But we're gonna read that for you because it's in line with what we're talking about. Come on, let me fit. That's right. That's right. Show you right. We come on. Let's get in Matthew 5 and 33. Then we'll go look at Judges chapter 11. We still holding what? We good at 1 Samuel 17. We good at 1 Samuel 16. I think we got Micah chapter 5. We got Micah 5. I got to finish Colossians. Thank you, sir. Matthew 5 and 33. Again, you have heard that it has been said by them of old time that you shall not forswear yourself, but you shall perform unto Yahuwah your oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is Elohim's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these, come eat. That's what he told you. Don't be around here swearing, and then you're not gonna do what you say you're gonna do. That's why I told you. See, a lot of people who done got married, they going to hell. Because they stood out there and took them oaths and made them. See, you ain't give no vow. There's no such thing as that. They signed the covenant, contract. They ain't say, I stand before you who and I vow to do this and vow to do that and vow to do that. Because you done swore before heaven that this is what you're going to do. And if you don't do it, then guess what you've done? You lied. You know what I'm saying? But see, these are not the things that people tell you. So you don't really understand the depths of what you're doing. People just treat marriage as a ceremony. I don't want to fool with this person no more. I'm a divorce. Come over here to Judges chapter 11. Oh no. You getting aggressive. Wait, bro. Wait. Do you have any patience in your soul, son? Judges 11 and 29. Grandma, go sit down. Muffin, let him get his own self in trouble. You just focus on yourself and pay attention. Now, Bird, find yourself somewhere to sit, son. 29. Fat man, where your shoe at, fat man? Malia, why you laid up like you in the county jail waiting to get out? All she needs is toilet paper for a pillow. Judges 11 and 29. The Ruach of Yahuwah came upon Jephthah. He passed over Gilead and Manasseh, passed over Mitzvah of Gilead, and from Mitzvah of Gilead, he passed over unto the sons of Ammon. Jephthah vowed a vow unto Yahuwah and said, if you shall without fail deliver the sons of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be that whatsoever come forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in shalom from the sons of Ammon, surely they will be Yahuwah's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. Now, y'all know burnt offering is Allah. That's what it also means. Allah is a two-strand word. You know that means ascent, stairway, or steps, or to go up, or whole burnt offering. Hey, Bird. Bird. Come here. Tuck your lip in. Come here. This side, son. This side. Tuck your lip in. What you doing all that for? What we supposed to be doing? You supposed to be sitting down paying attention, ain't you, son? We already had this conversation. It's not playtime. Now your t-shirt say you got chill vibes, but yet you in here acting like a baby. So I need you to go over there and chill out and sit down for me, son. I didn't ask you what you wanted to do. Did any time was I concerned with what Amariah wanted to do? No, I was not. Go sit down, son. Crying, boy. You smell like you doodled on yourself. You doodled on yourself? Go sit down. Hello, Abigail. And he smote, this is verse 33 of Judges 11. And he smote them from Aurora even till you come to Minit, even 20 cities unto the plain of the vineyards with a very great slaughter. Thus the sons of Ammon, well, I skipped the verse, excuse me. Jephthah passed over the sons of Ammon to fight against them. Yahuwah delivered them into his hands. The sons of Ammon were subdued before the sons of Yasharal. Jephthah came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels, with dances. She was his only child. Besides, he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass when he saw her that he rent his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low. You are one of them that trouble me, for I have opened my mouth unto Yahuwah, and I cannot go back. She said to him, My father, if you have opened your mouth unto Yahuwah, do to me according to that which proceeded out of your mouth, for as much as Yahuwah have taken vengeance for you of your enemies, even of the sons of Ammon. She said unto her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my fellows. Now, virginity is Bethlehem. That is her virginity. Literally, her virginity. That's what that means. When it say her fellows, and it's been a long time since we talked about this, it is Re'ah. Female companions, a companion or an attendant, a female associate. And then it's got Raya, which means the same thing. Attendants, maidens, companions, fellows of love. According to the text, how did Yahushua fulfill this? Because Yahushua fulfilled this last point right here in verse 37 and 38. And he said, Go, and he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. Yeah, when he went up there and he took Peter, James and John, or not Peter, James, John, when he took Peter, and then went up there and he went up there and wept. So when it says a lot of people think that she was killed, she was not killed. She was given to Yahuwah. Why would Yahuwah kill her? They weren't going to take her and set her on fire. You know what I'm saying? When he came up out of there, your only child now belongs to Yahuwah. Who else gave their child to Yahuwah?
Rebecca?
No, Rebecca did not give her child to Yahuwah.
Oh, no, Samson's mama.
Samson's mama didn't give her child to Yahuwah either. No, Samson's mama, she was a Nazarite from the womb. That was Samuel's mom. She said she would give her son to Yahuwah, and he went and lived in the temple for the rest of his life. Samson still was fooling with his people. Remember, his people got upset with him because he wanted to fool with Delilah.
Knocking them down. He was
Knocking them down. They say, son, why you can't never get one like you, nigga, with them Hamites? Why you can't get a woman of your own people? Old Hamite. He said them Hamite women submissive, but he ain't masculine. Ain't that about it? You can't ask somebody to do something when you can't give the option. That nigga wouldn't know what to do if a woman submitted. That nigga sit there and cheat just like this here. What to do? She do what I ask. What? What do I do, bro? Well, if you don't get off my phone, handle your business like a man. Let your nuts hang, boy. Greetings, man. You go through and just look up the words from time to time, but no particular translation specifically. What may I do for you, bird? Oh, you like a beverage? Proceed, young man. Okay, go ask her. Go that way, sir. So look what it says, right? That the daughters of Yasharal went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah the Gildite 4 days a year. So they went and wept for her, because you know what that means, right? She's never going to get married. She's never going to have kids. They wept for her virginity. What may I do you, Grandma? Well, he over there. What would we have before that? Colossians chapter 3.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, we do go through to use that blue letter Bible just to let them see what the actual words is that's written there, to make so we can see what's being conveyed. Because of course I know that you know that a lot of things aren't conveyed properly. Muffin man. Let me read that verse 9 to you again. Lie not one to another, seeing that you put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. Where there is neither Greek nor Yahudim, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Mashiach is all in all. Put on therefore as the elect of Elohim, Kadash and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, forbearing one another, forgiving one another. And if any man have a quarrel against any, even as Mashiach forgave you, so also do you. Because what did Mashiach tell us when it came to that? And if you don't forgive me and your trespasses, what Elohim not going to do? And what did he tell you to do if your brother trespass against you 70 times in a day? What did he tell you to do? He said the reason being is don't go asking Yahuwah for no forgiveness and no repentance when your brother asked you for it and you decline. He said don't come asking for it. Because guess what he going to do on the day of judgment? He going to mention that to you. He going to mention that to you. Because the reason being is you have to look at it in this aspect. We have all rebelled and transgressed in Yahuwah in ways that cannot even be comprehended in words. So the level of transgression that another person can do to you cannot match. And if Yahuwah will still be merciful, kind, and loving unto you, then you ought to be able to do that to your brother if you say you're a servant of the living Elohim. Because you can't sit back and say you're a servant of the living Elohim and then you cannot show forth his conduct. Because he said he showed mercy to the good and the just and the unjust. So, matter of fact, this man say, "What thank have you if you can love those that love you?" See, this is what the thing we get it twisted, right? You feel like, okay, somebody crossed you, or I'm not fool. I already told you the text tell you how you can cut somebody off. How does the text tell you how you cut somebody off? Oh, you don't know? That's unfortunate. How does the text tell you cut somebody off? Oh no, that's if they don't receive your testimony if you're preaching the gospel. How does the text say you cut somebody off? You know how the text say you cut somebody off? It's a protocol. Go to them one-on-one. If they don't you go to them one-on-one, because the book tell you in Proverbs that if you got an alternate your neighbor, go debate your cause with your neighbor and your neighbor alone. Then he tell you if your neighbor don't want to hear you, he said go get not just 2-3 niggas. He said 2-3 what? Witnesses. They don't want to hear them 2-3 witnesses. He said take them to the body. He said if they don't want to hear the body, then he said treat them like a heathen man in the book. So if you ain't done that, scripturally, you can't cut nobody off. Can't do it. It got to go through I told y'all that plenty of times. If you got a problem, follow the protocol. You know what I'm saying? Because really, if you got a problem, I should get it last. Because if I get it last, that means everybody going to be sitting here. And I'm going to let the least esteemed person in this room judge that matter. I guarantee you that. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's supposed to go. That's how that's supposed to go. If it don't go in that fashion, then you just doing things out of order. You're doing things how you want to do it. See, that's why I told you before, when I told you that you were unskilled, because you're supposed to know that. See, teaching the word is more than just saying, oh, you can see Mashiach right here. Oh, we the Israelite, you got to keep the law. No, son, you got to be skilled and have a comprehensive understanding of every single solitary nuance in the text to be able to impart the righteousness of Elohim to a man that his soul might be saved. So when I look you in your face and tell you you grossly unqualified, don't think that I'm being funny. I'm definitely not. This is a serious matter. You know what I'm saying? It's serious matter. This ain't no joke. That's what's wrong with a lot of people. You think it's a joke. That's why I told you before, a lot of dudes use gimmicks because they can't teach the word. They ain't supposed to be teaching the word. Now, where we was at before. I think we finished in Judges. Let me see if I need anything else in Leviticus 19. Yeah, we good at that.
Colossians.
You just finished Colossians, son. You just knocked that one out. Yeah, we good at now. Let me give you that Hebrew word for talebearer so y'all know what it is. It's Raquel. That is a slanderer, or also a snitch. Because it says an informer. You're snitching. What it means. Judas was a talebearer. He was an informer. Did he not tell?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I know he was told. He wasn't a snitch in regards that he told that somebody committed a sin. He is a snitch in regards that he would inform someone where someone was at for the purpose of killing the just unjustly. He's not a snitch in a modern term. See, let me tell you something. See, snitching. See, nobody in this room could snitch on anyone. Do you know why no one in this room could snitch on anyone?
Nobody does.
Exactly. Nobody lives by those rules. So they could not qualify. See, niggas are squares. You think somebody call the police or tell the police what somebody done that make them a snitch. Nobody in here is a criminal. They're not bound by those rules. That would make them law-abiding citizens doing their civic duty. But when you in the street and you're participating and benefiting from criminal activity, you can't talk, nigga. Go do your bid. That's snitching. If me and you ran into the Wells Fargo lobby and I get caught and I tell them where you at, I just snitched on you because I knew the consequence of running in the bank before we went in there. But if she's standing there and she seen you run in the bank and call the police and say he's driving a Ford Focus, license plate such and such, that person has not snitched on you. Snitching only applies to criminals. So if you're not a criminal, you can't snitch. See, Judas is not a snitch per se, and he's an informer because he led those people to where Yahushua was. The same way those people who grabbed Samson and took it to the Philistines were talebearers. They were informers because they brought him to someone who wanted to kill him for works that he was doing on the behalf of Yahuwah. That's what's going to happen in Elad. Hey, what did he tell you? Let's go ahead and just read this Luke 21 real quick. Then we come back to Micah 5. That's what I want. Little bird. 21 and 22, if you would. I might not need all that, though. Definitely don't need 21 and 22. You can pick this up at verse 10. Luke 21 and 10. Bird, little bird, little bird, bird, bird. Little bird, you growing date palms? Little date palms? Yes, grandma. I need y'all to sit down before you find yourself getting reprimanded. Yes. 21 and 10. Then he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines, pestilence, fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these they shall lay their hands on you, persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and in the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Now, I've always reiterated to this fact of y'all shalom, man, and I'm going to keep reiterating this fact. You're not getting brought before nobody because you're an Israelite. He said you'll be brought before them people for his name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what you shall answer. I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. You shall be betrayed both by parents, brethren, kinfolk, and friends, and some of you they shall cause to be put to death, and you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. That man say, your people, your own mammy will turn you in. Oh, that's one of them Jesus people. Oh, that's you, Yahshua, whatever you call it. That's the Bible people. And they're going to tell them. And they're going to tell them. You can play with it because I'm here to tell you something, man. Quote unquote, the saying that they like to say. What do you know the saying they like to say? What's the number one rule of universal law? Self-preservation. And if you think a nigga ain't going to preserve their life over something they don't believe and follow, because you family or friends, you sadly mistaken. They got the same level of hatred for him as the people who want to kill you behind it. And you just need to settle that in your heart and go ahead and just deal with it and get over it. You know what I'm saying? Because your mama might look you dead in the face and say, yeah, that bald-headed hoe serve God. I don't serve not me. You can kill that hoe. I'll tell you where she at right now. You laughing, though. But, boy, I'm dead serious, bro. When somebody sit back telling you that they got to go to jail for something that they don't follow, well, they desire to stay alive is going to be greater than the love they say they have for you. I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to believe it. You ain't got, no, that's extreme. Ain't that what the Lord just said? If the Lord told you your parents, your brethren, your kinsfolk, your friends going to turn on you, well, look here, son, you can take that to the bank and cash that check. It ain't going to bounce. Your daddy going to look you dead in the face. I don't mess with that coward nigga. No way. You go ahead and get it. I told that nigga stop following that Bible years ago. I don't know why you believe in none of that stuff. Sanctified, holy. I don't know what that nigga talking about. They're serious, bro. Man. Now let me ask you this here. What's the biggest reason of why people gonna turn you in that day? What's the biggest reason? What's the biggest reason they gonna turn you in that day? No, not just that. Not just that. You know what the biggest reason why they gonna turn you in? What the beast gonna be out there doing? We just talked about it last night. Exactly. The beast gonna be telling people he God, and you gonna be out there saying he ain't. These people who gonna turn you in believe he God. So that's what they killing you for. That's what they turning you in for. Exactly. Just what we read last night, right? They're gonna call good what? And evil what? And bitter sweet and sweet bitter. Now come on, man. We don't be paying attention to what it say. We think it's all fun and games. You know why you think it's all fun and games? Because ain't nobody really being persecuted for the word. Don't tell me about some rock worshipers killing some Christians overseas. That's not what he was talking about. That ain't what he was talking about. That's just some that ain't nothing but some low-key warring. I need to get these people off this land. I'm trying to take it over. That's all that is. That's been going on throughout history. How you think them Arabs and the Palestinians got in Jerusalem in the first place? You know the history of Jerusalem? You know the history of Jerusalem? What you know about the Crusades, son?
The Christian crusade.
Not just a Christian. It's not a Christian crusade. Nigga, that was an Arab Catholic war.
They said 500 million people died.
Well, that's an exaggeration. Yeah, that's an exaggeration.
That's all I heard about it.
No, I mean it wasn't just that. You had what the Catholic Church did is they created Islam as an antithesis to Christianity to foster a war to be able to take a piece of land. Because the Arabs had control over Jerusalem, just like the Catholic Church did. And that's who they were fighting against, to take that over. And then, of course, over the period of time, of course, you know, during World War II, it was passed over. And you know who had control of the land during World War II? No, the Germans didn't have control. It was Britain. It was called British Palestine at that time. When World War II was completed, the British turned right around and gave that land to them Jews. Turned right around and gave it to them. That was part of what World War II was fought for. And the what's the proper word I want to use? The fudging of what actually occurred during the Holocaust. Because the people lied. They did kill people, but they didn't kill as many people as they say they killed. It wasn't that many Jewish people on the earth at that time. It's not saying, because some people say, he's a Holocaust denier. No one's denying that it occurred. It just didn't occur at the rate that they said it did. And if you just do a small amount of research, you will see that they lied about how many people actually died. It was all a power play to translate that land over to these people. That's what it was for. This very thing that you're seeing going on right now, see, they trying to spark a communist revolution in America, the same way they sparked one in France, and the same way they sparked one in Russia. You know, we have been waiting on these people to do it. You know, they broke down the NFL, boy. You know how much hard work that it was to take to break down the NFL? That's the most powerful sports league in the world.
I thought baseball, man.
Who you say working out?
Because you know, baseball makes a lot of money too.
You should see this. Why again? This is your mistake. This is your mistake. Listen to me. This is your mistake. You looking at it based off of how much money the players make. That does not make your league powerful. Go ahead, Steve. Oh, what did the NFL just turn around and do? They apologized to Colin Kaepernick. That's what, yeah, Roger Goodell came out and said we were wrong. And he's encouraging all the league teams in the league to give him a job. No, he did. He shot a video in his basement and said, I apologize. We were wrong. Yeah, but the reason, the purpose is this is because every other league is a quote-unquote woke league. They're feminized leagues. You know, the NFL is the last bastion of masculinity. See, that's what I meant when I told you don't be watching Speak for Yourself and knew what Jason Whitlock was talking about, because that man talked about how the NFL was masculine and how they were trying to effeminize it. He talked about that regularly, consistently.
They had homosexuals playing in the NFL.
No, they did not.
One dude for the Cowboys was
no, that nigga was drafted. He got cut. He got drafted by the Rams. He got cut. They tried to push him, but it did not work. Because they couldn't break the league down. Now that they didn't come to make, see, you got to understand something. This social justice warrior stuff, that's wokeism. When a nigga's woke, that's really a nigga who complains with no solutions. It's all about communism and the breaking down of manhood. We just read Black Lives Matter. Don't all these NFL players support that? So what are they supporting? They're supporting the removing of masculinity and homosexuals. That's what they're supporting. But the NFL don't support none of that. The NBA support punks on. Nigga, Kobe got in trouble when he was playing for saying bang to another man who wasn't gay. Well, once they got the NFL, boy, it's a wrap, boy. You can go ahead and cancel this society. It's over with. You know what I'm talking about? It's over with. Once they got them, nigga, the NFL is the most powerful league in the world. Without question. And it's a 70% black played league of masculine, quote unquote, even though we know a lot of them boys is Swedish sugar. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? But that's neither here nor there. But the perception is that it's masculinity. And it was black male masculinity. And now they done broke them boys down. Once you break that down, now they gonna be around here talking about because I don't need you to knock them pins out that hat. I've been riding a good long time. Other ones them fell out. He holding on. You know what I'm saying? He holding on. So, and I'm mentioning that for a reason. Because once you strip away the masculinity, you can strip away the desire and mind to serve a masculine deity, i.e. Yahushua HaMashiach. That's the point. Because you can't be feminine and serve Yahuwah as a man. Because you know what happens when you feminine? You can't lead. And when you can't lead, then guess what that means? Now your woman is looking at you like, I can lead. I'm trying to tell you, man. Don't be shocked within the next 3 to 5 years if you see NFL ads supporting homosexuality, supporting trannies. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked when you start seeing talking about let women play in the NFL. Don't be shocked. But they've been promoting that type of stuff with some bald-headed hoe in California.
But they got women's football league.
No, they don't. Them hoes in their drawers. They in their drawers. It's booty cheeks everywhere. Stank monkey everywhere.
And what the dude on that drafted a couple years ago was a
Yeah, Michael Sam. He went to Missouri. They showed him with his little boyfriend kissing him in the mouth. But see, he was trash. Mm-hmm. See, that was their first attempt of trying to break that league down. He was trash. Indeed, no effeminate will enter. He was trash. See, that's why I told you he was incorrect. He was drafted by the Rams. They had the camera crew at his house. This nigga was like a 5th round pick. Talking about he was SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Why wasn't he? Because he sucked. So then the Cowboys signed him. You should already know that the Cowboys trash. Their logo is the goat head. It's Pan. Nigga, that's Pan in the middle of the field. That's not a star. That's Pan. Why you think they brought him in there? But you know you love Jerry Jones. He does a lot for black people. Clown. You can't, because you know why? The reason why you know the reason I'm doing like this here? Because you fall for the foolishness. See, you're the type of person to get got because you fall for propaganda. Yeah, they'll try to some rich white man out there to give you some token gesture, so you'll go back and you know they love him a nigga. They love us, you know, that's a good to us, you know, he give us nice clean sheets. You know what I'm saying? And he seasons the chicken right for us to eat. He don't give a scrap for more. He let us get left. You know what I'm saying? Master treat us good. Whole time, once you can't play ball no more, he done with you. That man don't care nothing about you. That's all the owners, period. Bro, they call players assets. As a man, I would be offended that another man would refer to me as an asset. An asset is an inanimate object. Ain't that right? That's an inanimate object. This is an asset. A house, a car is an asset. But then you refer me to cattle. You're right. You're right. Because now you're putting me on level with a cow. Now you're bringing me out there to brain. I don't like this. It ain't right. But it's just an understanding of what we talking about. Where I was going at. I think I finished a little. No, the only reason I do like that because you fell for the propaganda. Did I go to that? No. I finished using 21. Yeah. Did I finish? Yeah. I finished, Luke. No, the reason why I mentioned that, why I say that to you, man, is because you spoke about him as if you knew him personally, and you don't know that man. And what I say, you said that because you were starstruck. Because you look at these people, and I can understand because a lot of people, how many of y'all met a celebrity in your life and you was starstruck, or an athlete? And you was like, oh, that's such and such, and you stuck. You know how T.I. used to always talk about, nigga walk up to him, instead of saying, what's happening with you, I like your music, you acting like a fanboy. Because you know, a lot of dudes do that. They see a favorite rapper, athlete, and they be more passed out than the women do. You said that, you done seen it, huh? It's sad too. Women be like, shoot, I'm trying to go home with it. Nigga, get out the way. Micah chapter 5. But Bethlehem be house of bread. Let me get you them characters, man. For the first part, of course, you know pot, right? You know how to spell that, right? Spell pot for me, Monica. Can you spell it? No, don't tease now. Look at she looking at you like you ain't taught me this stuff. See what you did? You got me unprepared. Michael, you get a pass. Because you ain't do what you said you were gonna do. So we could get on your head. But I'm gonna let you live for 15 seconds. Help out, Johnny. You gotta look it up. Okay. Eric, verify a story. Verify a story. He tells the truth. Yeah, that's what it is. No, it's house of bread. It's bot. I know you know how to. You better know how to spell it. Yeah, the character bot is. You better know how to spell it. Well, spell it then. You looking like who, nigga? I can spell it. Yeah, spell it. You ain't telling me nothing. You said BYT. I said spell it. Give me the characters. Spell it. Oh yeah. Yeah, spell it. Somebody on here can spell it. That ain't cheating. The character sheet, I want her to spell it. I'm trying to tell you. It's open book test. Tell him again, Monte. Shoot, nigga, I'm giving you this. I'm telling you what it look. Make it easier. I don't want it to be hard. Grandma, come on, sit down. Come on. That's all you want to do anyway. Ain't no olive in that, baby. Yes, sir. Ain't no Ayin in there either. You got Bot right. Bot's right. You got two more characters to go. You can spell it, Eric? You got the letters? I'm just making sure you got it. That's right. That's right. Now, what's that last one? Come on, Nisha. You gonna say hey, Grandma? Say hey. Some people don't want you sticking your tongue out of them, Grandma. That's right, Saran. 10-4. What's that last one, Nisha? What's that last one, Monica? Little dimple baby. Little dimple baby. Batman. What's that last character, Nisha? Tile. Tile. I didn't hear you say that. If I did, I apologize. Oh, my bad. I didn't hear you say that. If I did, my fault. So you got bot, yard, and tile. So what would you use for that, right? You can say bot. Would you say son? You can say house. You'd probably say house. For yard, what would you use? Of course, tile, you got your mark, your seal, your covenant. But for yard, what would you use? The worship. So in the house, the worship or the bowing down in the covenant, if you would. How you got bread? And that's lakim. The word for bread itself is lakim. The word you should be familiar with. You got lamai, kat, and mean. You wanna go sit down? You wanna stay here? The dimple baby. Baby boy. Yes, sir. Lamai, kat, and mean. The leader separates you to the ruach. So when you look at that, you know you worship in the house because the leader has separated you to this spirit, if you would. So this is what we're looking at with the house of bread. Now let me ask you this here. No, I'm gonna leave that where it's at. We ain't gonna do that. Let me see what I want to go to next in this regard. So let's go back and look at Micah chapter 5, right? And let's look at the next thing. Now I notice I said that Yahushua is from old and from everlasting, right? So you know that means that he was from what? But from the world began. That is already evident. But then I want you to look at verse 3. Therefore will he give them up until the time which he travail have brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the sons of Yasharal. I want you to look at this word for now. When you look at travail and brought forth, it's the word yalad, and that is to give birth. Period, point blank, to give birth. I kind of read about this a little bit last night, but not in deep detail. But you got, I think I missed the word, Yathar. You got Yad, Tau, Raj. For remnant. Yad, Tau, and Raj. Okay, you have it, little pearl. Yad, Tau, and Raj. That's for remnant. Your third. Now, when you look at return, that word is shub. I remember shub, right? Well, what you remember about it? You don't remember the but you remember the word. You remember how to spell it? What consume or have sharp teeth? It's Sean. So when you hear that ooh, what character did that be? That's pretty obvious. You see that U and that W got that. So then you end the E. So what character would that be? So bot. So if you remember, shu means to convert. So you get paired to the and secured to the sun. See, we're gonna talk about that because if you convert, then as we just read, right? Because that's the same word that would be used for renew. And we read that in the Greek in Colossians that you be renewed in your mind, but that's in the regards of what I've been talking about. If you have a change in mindset, then you have a change in behavior. A change in mindset is indicative of one key thing, and that is maturity. See, when you don't change the way that you think, that means you have not matured. That means you're going to remain to stay the same person. Now, Saran got in here pressed in to be paired to the sun as it's getting into your third or that remnant, because that's what ends up happening. You get pressed in and you pair to the sun. Because if you press sun, what you taking them through? You're taking them through the wine press. The wine press comes through and it brings forth pressure. You understand? Now, this is what he said is going to return. I want you to come over here to Psalms 19 on the strength before I get to Hebron. Because while I'm sitting there thinking about it, I want to go to the word where the word shub is at in the Hebrew for you to see it. So we good with Bethlehem. Convert. Because, of course, we could go read that Yahushua was born in Bethlehem, things of that nature, but we want to deal with that house of bread. Because to be in that house, because I could go further with it, but I'm running long on time. We look at Bethlehem as the house of bread. Yahushua said in John chapter 2 that he was what? That his body was the house. He also, now, in the temple, what type of bread had to be prepared in the house daily? The shoe bread. So you could go in the temple and see that this would be the what? House of what? Bread. Yahushua said his flesh was what? Bread. So you look at him and he's literally Bethlehem because he's the house of bread. Because you can enter into that house and eat the shoe bread. We'll look at something in the shoe bread in a minute in that regard. Well, he said he was the bread of life in that regard, in regards to the manna. But I can understand what he said that in that specifically in the context of what he was talking about. He was referring to the manna. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Let me get to Psalms 19 and 7. Psalms 19 and 7. That's right. He said the Torah of Yahuwah is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahuwah is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of Yahuwah, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yahuwah is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yahuwah is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of Yahuwah are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is your servant warned, and in keeping them there is great reward. Now we look at converting, and that's that good old word shu, as we mentioned before. That's to return or to turn back. Also to restore and to refresh. What does the law tell you about what Yahuwah did on when he rested on the Shabbat? In Exodus 31, what did it tell you that Yahuwah was? I don't know, LaMuffin, your memory ain't that long. LaMuffin, you remember what Yahuwah was when he rested on the Sabbath? Do you remember what it was? What you covering your face for? Oh, you remember? No, why not? Oh, that's correct. No, you said use the potty. Oh, no, he refreshed himself, which is nafash, which is to take one's breath or refresh himself, or he received the Ruach, in order to be raised in regards to Yahushua. So when you look at, hello, Lizzie. When it looks at it forth as being converted or renewed in the mind, that's a change of mind. So I'll leave you with this question right here. And y'all on the screen, you can type in if you so choose. I want you to think back on your life and any event that has occurred to you that brought forth maturation in your life, which caused you to have a change of thinking, that caused you to change, that caused you to grow. A specific event in your life, in your existence, where you say, you know what, I can no longer continue in the course of action that I've been continuing. Oh, you ain't got to rush it. Take your time.
No, I know. I got.
Okay, take your time, son. Just chill, bro. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? Because see, Toronto here, he said having children is what necessitated a level of maturity for himself. See, the reason why I ask this here, because when you're dealing with renewing the mind, that's a change in mindset. There's always a situation or circumstance that occurs in individuals' lives. Some people, it never happens, unfortunately. That changes their mindset. Once you change your mindset, that is what maturity is about. It's a changing of mindset. It's a changing the way of thinking. Because when you change the way that you think, you change the way that you conduct yourself. See, what is Yahushua's words when he preached the gospel? He said, repent. So he's telling you to convert, return, renew. Because if you're renewing your mind, what is the instruction you were given in Ezekiel 18? He told you to make you what? A new heart and a new spirit. That's what he told you to do. Yahushua turned around in John chapter 3 and told you to do what? Be born again. We just read in Colossians where it told you to be renewed. Romans chapter 12 tell you not to be conformed to the ways of this world. So there has to be a renewal or a maturation. Anybody else on here besides Ron? Hello, Leah. The first time Darius said the first time in that pack, they put you in the pack way. Oh man.
I almost got shot.
You almost got shot. Why a nigga finna shoot you, boy?
I got hit in the head with a pistol.
What nigga pistol whipped you, boy? Okay, now that's it now, because you got it. How did you get in the paddy wagon? What change came about because you got put in that paddy wagon? What did you change that you were doing previously that you didn't do no more? What changed after that boy hit you in the head with that pistol?
I said I'm gonna quit gang.
Did you?
I said I'm gonna quit playing in the streets.
Did you do that?
Yeah, I did.
I bet you did. Ain't that funny? That's that old saying, right? That iron get your mind right.
Got mine right. Said fire. It turned around. I guess the way he hit me, it jammed up the gun because he tried to shoot it at me, and it wouldn't shoot.
That day you knew the streets wasn't for you, huh? Yeah. Look at you. You almost lost your life on the humbug. Huh? You got something for me? You. Ain't no owls in here. You ain't. What I just asked? Oh, you don't want to share? How that changed your conduct and your way of thinking?
Well, you know, when I got to work.
What changed?
That's the only thing. Well, you know what changed?
What changed?
Because I thought before I was looking for it. I feel like I had consequences.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what we're trying to get to. So you just feel like you can do anything and nothing will happen. A lot of people do. Kira says she can't recall a specific event, but seeing people around her and the course that she was going and seeing how others act and how she was imitating them, she had an epiphany to do better. What about you, Monica?
I'm back. KFC. I'm like 20. I had a bad like And then people kept on telling me I had bad attitude, but I didn't see it. So I went home one night and I spoke up like a different person. Like I changed my attitude because the lady who told me I had bad attitude, she was like real nice. She was the nicest person I ever met in my life.
And you ashamed, huh?
So yeah. So I was like, yeah, so I got changed.
Oh no, you just ain't wake up and change. You were thinking about it. You were thinking about it. You just don't wake up one day and say I'm gonna be different. You already know. You sitting there looking, I ain't gonna never get no man like this. That was looking at. You're gonna be lonely and by yourself in a house full of cats. Ain't nobody gonna like you. You're gonna be like, nobody don't call me because you cuss them out every time they call. That what you were doing? Oh, you was a nasty nigga. What you was mad for? I knew it had to be something in the family because you just walk around here mad. See, that's the point though. Out of that mindset of that mind frame, that comes from something that doesn't happen. You just ain't walking around mad for no reason. You know what I'm saying? What about you, Johnny? You should have been ready for that. Oh, look at you. Shoot, you got. I'm just saying, you about to wear drop, son. Y'all came in here matching. Not a visual. Who in that bathroom? Close that door, son. Shoot, that's what he does all the things. Releasing themselves. Yeah, whatever. I can tell you when Lil Muffin was born, when I first seen Lil Muffin, when I knew that life has to be about another person other than yourself. Or you can think of it. You just don't want to share. We get it. Dude, I can't even say getting out of prison. I knew before I went to prison. Like this here. Now, you ain't selling no dope because I can't be in the room with no 72 niggas again. I had already did the calculation. I said, when I get up out of here, little Muffin gonna be 18 years old. Well, if I sell dope, boy, shoot, I had my mama. Boy, I live up on the I-95. I'd rather be broken free than paid and in jail.
Shoot, really just like in life, and you know, when you look, you have a certain idea of how you want to, like the kind of person you want to be. You realize you have to live up to that. You won't expect.
Well, what was the thing that got you to realize that you was mediocre? Well, that's what you're telling me.
When you realize that, like you said, that's mediocre, not mediocre.
Sound like you wasn't applying yourself.
Yeah.
I would have sounded like it. What about you, little Stan? With the cat, she thinks she's slick. She's trying to lead the room. Oh yeah. You told me about that story.
Same way I feel.
What this nigga say? He got hit upside the head with that pistol about a hoe.
No, it wasn't. But no, that wasn't. That's a different incident. That's a different incident. No, I got hit upside the head with a pistol.
Oh no, he said that was another time. Well, you don't. Hey, I'm talking about for a nigga who talking about you do a lot of fighting. You took a lot of L's, boy.
I ain't heard the W yet. Let me see how you ran down on the
Hey, that made me think about that joke that dude told back in the day. Talking about, boy, you ever hit a nigga so hard, nigga, like, I don't want to fight no more. You win. You win. You got it. Some people hit that hard. What about you, Michael? I feel you though, standing like this here. You had that flashback like in the movies, and you wonder how we got here. Mess around with she.
I gotta go.
Go ahead, Michael. When she was in the Bronx, what you were doing in the Bronx? Around here in Soundview kicking up dust. Why you weren't living with your people? Well, who you were living with? Oh, so you was out here being fast and loose. That means you got to be fast and loose with your body, but you were fast and loose in the streets. Hey. That's good. That's good. So you just got tired. You just got tired of being stubborn. I bet your people were telling you, Michael, you need to stop doing this here. That's what you were telling them. Don't talk to me, Mom. I know how to make my own decisions. Your dad, like, your own decision. Look where they got you. You don't know my life. That's what you were telling me. But that's good though. Sometimes I take that. What about you, Callie? Don't hit me with that white lady smile. Oh, you realize the world didn't revolve around you? Sure you did. Sure you did. It's okay. When you're young, you do think everything revolves around you. How old you were when you had kids? Yeah, I was gonna remember. I'm pretty young. That is, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I mean, cause shoot, this some girl had their children that young, and that young don't do nothing. She gonna buy what she gonna buy, and she sees her running street tooting and boot. Cause I know a lot of people think kids change the way that you think, but that junk is not true for everybody. You know what I'm saying? What about you, Deidre? I just realized who that was. I ain't know what daddy had him. I'm just thinking he just was wailing just on the strength. Oh. Yeah. No, he threw me off. The baby threw me off. The baby threw me off. The baby threw me off. No. Come here. No, come here.
I feel like I've had a sequence of my alternate. I mean, first start when I was a child, or probably in high school when my dad slapped me because I was talking back. I had up my friends together to check. Yeah. It's not everything.
I bet that was hilarious. Big girl.
But I feel like after that, it was more so when I got pregnant and actually being a mom, because I realized I did lack patience. So I learned how to be patient. And then, of course, I wouldn't say co-parent, not co-parent, but actually being in the situation that I was in, I feel like that was definitely humble situation and a learning situation at the same time. Those are my numbers. And
You're done. I can also say the word for me because I ain't deal with no Bible ever in my life, but I did a lot of reading about a lot of things. So that definitely changed a lot of perspective.
yeah,
What about you, Mom?
Smoke a lot of reading.
I did a lot of reading before I started smoking reading. That's just what I do.
I used to read a lot of outer space movies. This nigga shit, I used to read a lot of outer space books. Yeah,
That's what you was into?
yeah, and Animal Planet. I love nature and outer space.
What about you? You dig it. What about you, sir?
I'll probably say when I got robbed at gunpoint, I feel like that was humbling because I could have been dead, and I felt like it altered my mind state, like as far as you either gonna be in the streets for real or you finna do right by your life. I feel like after that point, I really started taking the word seriously and seeking it out. I mean, I always knew about the word. I really started seeking it out after that point to get me where I'm at now. I think that's probably the biggest thing I went through.
What about you, Monte? And Lee and Michael Glover around that high around that corner. Oh, y'all thought I was just gonna go in order. I got Jim Danny back there too. Look, I ain't scared of nobody. Yeah, I know she around the corner.
We'll turn the bathroom light on.
I said the first one,
And then you think like,
no sugar.
Oh, you know that's a never ending process. That's a never. What about you, Lee? Hey, Malia. Well, what did that do to cause a shift in your mindset? Yeah, I mean, but people get married that don't change the shift in their mindset. What did getting married do that caused a change in your mindset, which in turn changed your behavior? But you were dealing with it before you got married. Oh, she had to listen. Ah, what about you, Michael? What did he say? Oh, what did this man just say? Hold on. What did he just say? Because I know he just gave a Gloverism. I need to know what it is that he just said. All right. Well, we were working at a chemical plant cleaning, and I used to hit the boys off with that work. Jessica said when she got pregnant with Naya, and her dad ended up being a heroin addict, so that opened her eyes. And she need to make better decisions. Hey, little muffin. Not that little muffin. Big little muffin. Yeah, he in the bathroom. Come on around that corner, little muffin. Huh? You can go ahead. Your husband's relieving himself. No, you can't. This is not a joint thing. Why does it matter? Well, you're not going to get to hear his answer because you're here now. Oh, you got saved by the year. She said she want to hear your answer first. Yeah, I knew that's what he was going to go for. Yeah. Right before Lynn was born. He got to tell you that story. Yeah, they were 2009. I mean 12, I should say. Lynn was born 2012. Probably about 3-4 months.
Yeah. Not when I got out of the hospital.
Now the baby shower was in September, so it was somewhere between before that or after.
No, it was right before. When I got out of the hospital.
Yeah. So that was probably late August or early September.
I remember her calling me at work.
Go ahead, Marcus. You heard his answer. That's what I said. Muffin says she doesn't want to talk over all of y'all. You're being rude and disrespectful, and she doesn't like it.
I was like, you're 5.
Well, what happened 2 years ago that caused a shift in your mindset? Took a half a decade? Hey. That's all you got? That's 2018. Oh, that's Muffin Man.
So her, that's what you're trying to say?
Say hey, Muffin Man. Got that be him. Oh yeah, we forgot about you. We got you over there too. Almost forgot about you too.
Somebody keep up.
Whatever happened to
Was it because of the circumstances around Abby was birth? Abby, get out of there.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Eric.
Memoir. Yeah, be quiet. So, you supposed to sit down.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Hold on. Let her get over herself.
Sit down, boy.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I seen council.
All right. What about you? You got something for me? Don't be looking like that. You ain't that young. You got something for me.
Hey.
No neck boy.
Not you.
I know you got something for me. Huh? Shoot, you holding it. Now, see, I went through all that there because you look at the aspect of course, we know the word would be the main thing. Because that word, prayerfully, that when you heard the gospel, I ain't talking about when you heard you were in Israel, but when you heard the gospel, that it would prick. Like when Peter dropped that gospel on the people in Pentecost and said their heart was pricked. See, I wanted y'all to think upon these things, and some of you probably gonna think upon it in more detail after we leave from here, for you to understand that things have to occur, usually for your mindset to change. The reason why those things have to occur, because then that will cause you to be whatever it is, for you to be more committed and be more dedicated to what it is that you want to accomplish. You usually don't accomplish what you want to accomplish because you haven't changed the way that you think. So therefore, you don't commit yourself and dedicate yourself to the accomplishing of said task. See, when his word comes, that's why we read that Psalm 19, it convert the soul. It causes a change in the mind. The mind has to be changed. See, if you don't change your mind, then you're going to continue to be carnal. See, Romans chapter 8 tell you that the spiritual mind is life and peace, and the carnal mind is death. And that the law of Elohim is not subject to the carnal mind, because it's enmity, and it can't be subject. Yes,
So it's not one big, right? But I remember we used to be quarantined before we got married. And
nasty.
cute. Of course, but like I remember one day I really felt like y'all was gonna be like, for real, I was like, I don't think I'll wake up as I go to bed. And then I was like, okay, I woke up. And then we kept doing it. And I kept feeling like I really kept feeling like I don't feel I'm not gonna wake up. So I don't know if that really was like I need to be serious. It was before we came to the word, but like I used to feel like legit. I used to like tell him I feel like I'm gonna die like tonight. And he's how you feel like that? And I'm like,
because you knew you were wrong. Because you knew you were wrong. And you know that you ought to have been killed.
I think the last time before we trying to 6 4 months. I think we stopped. We wanted to stop one time. I was like, oh, all right.
See, but that's also to a certain extent, that's mind changing. That you're doing something, you know that it's wrong. So you have to say, let me cease from that conduct. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people are not going to make it in the kingdom because they're going to come over here to Ephesians chapter 4 because they're going to refuse to do what's mentioned. I'm going to talk about more of the house of bread. We ain't going to get to Hebron today. See, I wanted y'all to talk about that out loud to cause your own mind to think when we depart from here. So you to sit back and assess. Like I said, if you don't change your mind, you're not going to change your life. You don't change the way that you think. How are you going to get into the house of bread to get some bread? Ephesians 4 and 20, right? Or 19, or 18. Ephesians 4 and 18. Bird. Get that orange peel, put it in the trash, son. Behind you, son. Right there. Look, there you go. Having the understanding darkened by being alienated from the life of Elohim through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart. See, a lot of the things that y'all mentioned, or even just natural side or word side, it comes through because you're ignorant, you don't know. You don't really know that what you're doing is not conducive to your maturation. I say the purpose of changing your mind is for the purpose of maturation. That's why people say whatever is not growing is dying. That's why I mentioned that. How can you evolve, for lack of a better term? How can you mature if you still holding on to things that happened to you in the past? If you still holding on to processes and thought processes that don't serve you. See, that's the biggest thing, which is the hindrance to many people. You hold on to things that have not worked. And you know they don't work. But you don't want to stop doing them because you would have to face the fact that you would have to come into uncharted territory. You know what I'm saying? But you need to come in uncharted territory in order to expand as a man. You know what I'm saying? I done told you this before. Ain't no way in the world that you should still be thinking at 35 the way that you thought when you was 18. You've wasted half your life. Truth be told, you shouldn't still be thinking the same way that you thought 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? And not in every area, because some areas you do have to think the same. That consistency has to remain. But then there are some things that you should have been learning and growing as an individual. Where I don't share the. See, that's why I told y'all that's how everybody get got with the Black Lives Matter type of thing without knowing all the details. You still think the same. So they can still trot out the same propaganda and manipulation, and you would be fooled because you haven't evolved the way that you think. So then you're not going to properly discern. See, that's what I was telling you earlier. Yeah, you say you don't want to argue back and forth with a person, but yeah, you still turn back around and do it. You just do it in a different way.
I'll let my homeboy tell you.
Now, you definitely is a sucker that you would let another man prompt you to do something that you know that you shouldn't do. And this is like the third or fourth time that you done said that you done allowed another individual to entice you to do something. Now, what does the text tell you about sinners? What did he tell you not to do? He said, if sinners entice you, my son, don't do what? Consent you not. Now, I'm not saying the gentleman that you spoke to was a sinner by any means, but you allowed him to consent to something that you knew wasn't improper. That means you haven't changed the way that you think. That means you're still highly impressionable and that you're not fit to lead. Because the individual can persuade you to do something, even if it's against your better judgment. You know what I'm saying? And you can't do that. That's still that's a child. Well, I'm gonna say child. That's an adolescent way of thinking. That's what happens with teenagers. Nigga, that's peer pressure, nigga. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, did your friends convince you to get high? Peer pressure. See, this is why I told you what I told you yesterday. No, that's why I told you that several times. I'm not being funny. That's why I told. See, ain't nobody never told you that. See, one thing I done told you, but plenty of time. If I tell you I'm not gonna do something, I don't care how many times you ask me, I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it because you can't persuade me to do something that I don't want to do. And why do I mention that? Because what does the book of James, the letter of James, say about lust? What does it say? Come over here to the epistle of James and look at what it says. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm like, well, that's where I want to be. 1 and 12. 1 and 12. He said, blessed is the man that endured temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive a crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Elohim, for Elohim cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempt he any man. Every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bring forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, it bring forth death. Do not err, beloved brethren. At the end of the day, all Satan is an enticer. I told you this numerous times. He ain't gonna do nothing but entice you with your lust. See, you know why a lot of y'all get enticed with your lust? Because you ain't filled up on that bread. So you want to fill up on your lust. See, that's just the segue back to the true bread. Come over here to Ephesians chapter 4. You know about the shoe bread? Oh, that's just horrible. What was them niggas teaching you, son?
No, I don't.
Clearly, boy, them boys ain't teach you too much of nothing. See, we don't do that around here, son. We have a comprehensive curriculum.
Right.
I don't know what they were teaching. I wasn't there.
One West doctrine.
I mean, but I don't know what they were teaching. Just because they teach One West doctrine don't mean that they're not thorough.
They was just teaching like history and stuff.
Verse 19, who being past, this is Ephesians 4:19, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness to work all uncleanliness with greediness, but you have not so learned HaMashiach, if so be that you have heard of him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushua. that you put off concerning the former conduct, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. See, that's the thing that you have to realize is the way that you think is corrupt. And it was according to your lust that were deceiving you. See, sin is deceitful. We know that from Hebrews chapter 3. We know that from Paul's statement in Hebrews Romans 7. And we know that from the law in Genesis chapter 3 with Adam and Eve. Lust will deceive you. Lust will cause sin, will cause you to believe that something that is wrong is right and that you're justified in participating in it. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very deceitful. So that's why you have to put off the old man and the conduct, because that's the coming with the changing of the mind. You change the mind, you change the conduct. That's why I asked all that beforehand. Because I wanted you to look at certain things in your natural life to where this happened to me and it caused me to put aside this behavior so I could change my conduct. Because I'm telling you, if you don't change your mind, you can't change your conduct. Your conduct will remain the same as long as you think the same. And then you can't be upset for getting what you've been getting because you've been doing what you always been doing. But let's continue. He said, but be renewed in the ruach of your mind, and that you put on the new man, which after Elohim is created in righteousness and true kadash. Wherefore put away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be you angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. What do you think this means to not give place to the devil? Who in the script can you think of that gave place to the devil?
David.
How did David give place to the devil?
Because he allowed the devil to just put a thought on his mind and number the scripture.
Well, I'll give you that one. Well, you hit you one on that one, boy. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Shoot, you just said Eli, and that's an accurate statement. Because Eli gave place to the devil because he knew full well what his sons was doing in that tabernacle, and he didn't stop. I know it, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway.
Solomon.
You say Solomon did. He gave place to the devil by fooling with the women. Not on Samson, because that was a you. That was a
Moses.
Now I'm gonna tell you what. Now Moses, that was a little different. Moses allowed his frustration with the people for him to do something outside of what you were asking. Now, when it says place, it's any portion of space marked off or a condition or station held by one in a company or assembly. But the most accurate definition is opportunity, power, or occasion for acting. I give you that too. I give you that too. Balaam is accurate as well. And you know how they gave place to the devil? All because of their lust. That's how they gave place. Let's continue. He said, let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may give to him that need. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good for the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. Grieve not the Ruach HaKodesh of Elohim, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. Now let's look at the Greek words for each one of these while we at it. I got a little time. Then you're just gonna walk off. Let's look at this word for bitterness. It's pakria. It's extreme wickedness. That's what bitterness is. Extreme wickedness. A bitter root, so producing bitter fruit or bitter hatred. Clamor. Cruel. It's an outcry. Causing atonement or causing grief. So don't be causing grief on people. Malice is kakaya, ill will, desire to injure, depravity, wickedness that is not ashamed to break laws. And it says, be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Mashiach's sake have forgiven you. Tenderhearted in this Greek means being compassionate. And of course, you know what Matthew 23 and 23 say. Those are the weightier matters of the law. Now, all of these things are going to take us. Come over here to Exodus 25 for the first time. You see about the shewbread.
Exodus what?
25. That's a shame the boys ain't taught you about no shewbread. Them boys been failing you. 25 and 30, if you would. You can make it 25 and 27. Listen. Muffin Man. Yes, sir. 25 and 30. Stand. Oh, you're 6. Okay. Over against the border shall the rings be for places of the staves that bear the table. You shall make the staves shittim wood, overlaying them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. You shall make the dishes thereof, and the spoons thereof, cups thereof, and bowls thereof. To cover with all of pure gold shall you make them. You shall set upon the table shewbread before me always. You know the word for shewbread? We said it earlier. It ain't no different. Tell them the word for shewbread. Lacan. That's it. Just bread. The mod, meme, and kai. You been studying them letters, boy?
I looked at it a couple times.
You got to get your mind right in your game time, son. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to take. That's a no. Now, this is the bread now, right? We got lamad, meme, and kai. This is always has to be on the table. So what always has to be on the table? Well, that shepherd's teachings, which is ruach. You know what I'm talking about? Or the separation. Because see, this is a separated table. I know y'all know the story about the shewbread. Who don't know the story about the shewbread? You don't know the story about the shewbread? Well, you're going to learn today. But before we get there, come on over here to Numbers chapter 4. You know the story about the shewbread? You don't know the story about the shewbread? Lord have mercy. You know the story about the shewbread? You are here. I can see you. Johnny, you know the story about the shewbread? Monica, you know about the shewbread? Some people went to church, they ain't tell you nothing about it, they gave you away for something. They don't know. They say you know.
All I do is preach.
Come over here to Numbers chapter 4, man. I want y'all to see how the shewbread gets set up before we go read about the shewbread. Because we're dealing with the house of bread, with Bethlehem. It said, Yahuwah spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, after their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath, the tabernacle of the congregation, about the most Kadash things. When the camp set forward, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and the ark, and cover the ark of the testimony with it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, y'all familiar with the covering veil? You know about the covering veil, son?
No more. Keep your hand to
Lord,
yourself.
I've been teaching this man. I'm just shocked. You know about the covering veil, Kelly? I don't think we've been over that since you've been present. Michael, you know about the covering veil? She like, nigga, don't you ask me. You already answered.
It just helps. No Ross priest.
That's right. That's the covering that before you went into the Holy of Holies. Let's look at this veil, right? It's a curtain. Y'all should know what happened. What happened with the veil, Eric, when Mashiach was on the stage? You know? You don't know? What happened with the veil, son?
Well, when Mashiach.
Yeah, what happened to the veil?
Well, did it break?
Dang, them boys ain't teach you nothing. Come over here to Matthew 22. Them boys ain't teach you nothing. I'm shocked in the Paul. I am disgusted.
That's what he said in front of you.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not putting that on him. I ain't saying that. I'm not putting that on him. I'm talking about the niggas who this boys ain't teach this man that.
Say he know that.
Khalid died one time, he didn't know that.
He's a dead horse.
Nah, because it's like I'm asking. Well, you know this boy been in the world 8 years? That's what I'm looking at, like, good Lord. Well, so truth be told, you probably really only been in the word 90 days.
Since time you touch that water.
I'm finna read it to you. Matthew 27.
You just said you was scared.
27. And you said you were skilled.
Yeah, you gotta get wrong everything you said.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that. You said you were skilled. You said that. Said that you.
No,
said
you're
that.
not. There's only one skill.
What about
He said his homeboys told him he
They
was
told me
skilled.
I won.
no, the ones
That was
that
skilled.
they said that since I learned from them, they said that is skill.
Oh, so that means them boys, they're super duper trash. I'm talking about Trail Ridge landfill trash. Lord have mercy. 27. Yahushua, when he cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks did rent. See, the veil, Michael, is a curtain. I don't know if y'all recall when we were talking about the temple, that you couldn't go to the Ark of the Covenant. Well, we didn't mention it. There's a curtain or a divider. So only the high priest could go behind that curtain. You know what I'm saying? See, we couldn't go behind that curtain. So that takes it when they did it, and we could come over here to 2 Corinthians chapter 3. After 2 Corinthians chapter 3, Acts chapter 13. See, praise you. This is why some stuff we have to go back. Like I said, we don't went over a lot of stuff over an extended period of time. So I know that we have to go back over, because see, I already know that. You don't know. Some stuff, some of y'all know it, but you don't remember it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to do that. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, right? Pick it up at about verse 9. Muffin Man, who you yelling at? You hurt? You okay? Hey. He say, for the ministration of condemnation be esteemed, much more do the ministration of righteousness exceed in esteem. So Paul, ministration means what, son? What does ministration mean?
What is it, man?
What does ministration mean?
Ministry.
What does it mean?
To serve.
To serve. So you have the servant of condemnation. So what is the service of condemnation? The law served you condemnation. The faith in Yahushua served you righteousness, which is a faith, which you know from Genesis chapter 15. He say, for even that which was made esteemed had no esteem in this respect, by the reason that the esteem that excel. For if that which is done away was esteemed, much more that which remain is esteemed. Seeing that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech. And not as Moses, which put a veil over his face, that the sons of Yasharal could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished. Michael and Monica, y'all know about what he talking about with Moses with the veil on his face? You need to go look at what it is. Exodus 34, I believe. See, Moses went up on the mount. He seen you down there playing with them golden calves. He threw the tables of stone down. That was representative of the covenant being broken. He had to go back up on the mount and get 2 new tables of stone, which is a similitude of a new covenant. When he came down, his face was shining. So the people couldn't look at him because, Ecclesiastes 8:1 tell you wisdom calls a man's face to shine. When you got the tables of stone in your hand, you got the covenant, so you got skill, so you got wisdom. So he put a veil over his face. So the comparison, when Mashiach went up on the mount with Peter, James, and John, he didn't have no veil on his face, and his face was shining. because this was regard that the new covenant is here, and you can look steadfastly and see the plainness of my face, of which they couldn't do with Moses because he was just a shadow. But when you see that, when him coming up and he say, "Cube 2 new tables of stone," that was representative of the new covenant in the law, which most Jews don't know and overlook. Because that's why he threw it down, because you broke it. So we had to make it new, because he already was showing you what he was going to do later on the back end. And then show you how the new one would give life, because in him was light, and the light is the life of men. But let's continue. He said, but their minds were blinded, for unto this day remain the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Mashiach. So pause. This is twofold. With the veil being done away, that's the end of the Levitical priesthood and a manifestation of the order of Melchizedek. But the people's eyes are covered, like we read last night. He said he had a greater witness than John. His father gave witness, and that you ought to do what? Search them scriptures. For in them you think you have eternal life, and they talk about him. And he's saying, you won't come to me that you might have life. He said, I don't receive honor from men. He get honor from his father. That's why he said, how can you believe and you seek honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from God only? See, that's where a lot of people get messed up at. You seek an honor from the people in the room, but you're not seeking honor from the honor that comes from Elohim, which exceeds the people in the room. Which is why he say you seek the praise of men and not the praise of Elohim. That will be the downfall of many. Now we're dealing with, all this is still dealing with that shoe bread, because that shoe bread was in, there were certain things inside that tabernacle, right? You had that shoe bread, you had that brazen serpent, you had Aaron's rod that budded, you had the almonds that came from that, and you had manna in there. And all that was done away with the minute this man died and gave up the ruach. The minute he gave up the breath, that veil was rent, and now anyone can come unto the throne of grace for help in the time of need. Before, you couldn't do that. Let's continue. He said, but even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart, meaning that John 5:39 that we start with every week. They can't see him in the text. They don't believe. So that veil, because we're going to read it back when we go to number 4, they would take that curtain and cover the ark up with it. They would cover it up. You know what I'm saying? That curtain was made out of linen, which is also a representation of why they wound Mashiach up in a linen garment when they put him in that sepulchre. Because he got to cover the ark up. You know what I'm saying? But we'll deal with that on another day. He said, nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. Because see, when that veil is there, then you still in bondage. You ain't free. You're not free. Let's continue. Now the Lord is that Ruach, and where the Ruach of the Lord is, there is freedom. So we're talking about freedom from death. We're talking about freedom from sin. See, not freedom like people believe that you don't have to follow the man's instructions. You free from the consequence of breaking his instructions. Because now you would live according to that faith. You wouldn't break those instructions. Come on back to Numbers chapter 4. Now the characters for Pokereth are Pei, Rosh, Kof, and Tav. So you would already see how the word of the highest brought forth subduing or death to bring in a covenant. But that's another conversation for another day. And he says, right? Where we at, right? Verse 5, and he say, take down the covering veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it. And he says, and you shall put thereon the covering of badger skin, and you shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and you shall put the stays thereof. Upon the table of shewbread, they spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes, the spoons, the bowls, to cover withal, and continual bread to be thereon. They shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, but cover the same with a covering of badger skin, and shall put in the stays thereof. And they shall take a cloth of blue and cover the candlestick of light, and its lamps, and its tongs, and its snuff dishes, and the oil vessels thereof, wherefore they ministered unto it. So let's look at this table of shewbread. Now here, you know what they got shewbread here? They got panim. Who knows what the word panim is? Who remember what that means? They don't got bread there. Face. Or in the presence. So upon the table of presence, they shall spread a cloth of blue and put the dishes and spoon thereon to have continual bread. Now, continual is tamid. This is perpetual, continual. Let's come over here to 1 Samuel 25 or 24, please.
1 Samuel 25.
No, it's not 25. 25 is Abigail. No, 21. That's Abigail. 1 Samuel 21, and we can pick it up at verse 1. 1 Samuel 21 and 1. He said, then came David to Nob, to Amalek the priest, and Amalek was afraid at the meeting and said unto him, why are you alone, and no man with you? And David said unto Amalek the priest, the king have commanded me of business, and has said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I sent you, and what I have commanded you, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under your hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. The priest answered and said, there is no common bread under my hand, but there is hollow bread, if the young men have kept themselves from at least women. What do y'all know about hollow bread? Now, when you look at common bread, that word is cold. That's simply unholy or common bread. This is not set apart bread. Don't mean the bread wicked. You got cotton lamad. So what would you say about that? There ain't no common bread. Just hollow bread. What you know about hollow bread? You know about hollow bread? Lord, have mercy.
I don't. And number little SB.
Come over here to Leviticus 21. I'll tell you about the common bread, the set apart bread. Come on around here. See, this is an example why I say I don't want to talk to none of the dudes you talk to. That's why.
They don't even know about set apart bread.
They don't know nothing.
That's the best bread ever.
That's the best bread ever. Common bread. Don't you know Yahushua? He ain't no common bread. Is that right? Only the priest was allowed to get that bread.
You only can get it out there.
You can only get it out that house. You gotta talk to him. That boy don't know nothing about that bread. Leviticus 21. I'm trying to get straight to the point. Leviticus 21, and we can read verse 1, man. Yahuwah said unto Moses, speaking to the priests, the sons of Aaron. That's to establish who he's talking to. That's why he said, I don't have no common bread here. He say unto them, none shall be defiled for the dead among his people, but for his kin that is near unto him. That is for his mother, for his father, for his son, his daughter, or his brother. See, that's why I told you that before. That's why I told you that before. I can't do that. I can't do that. He said, but for his kin that is near unto him, and for his sister, a virgin that is nigh unto him, which have no husband, for he may be defiled. So if you're a priest, you teaching that word, he said, if your sister done died and she got a husband, that's her husband's job to come to that dead body, not yours. Because that reason being, because when a woman is not married and they don't have a father, then that's her brother's responsibility. That's her brother's responsibility. Once you get married and you got a husband, that's your husband's, because possession has been abdicated to him. That's not your duty or your job no more. That's none of your business. That man don't ask for your assistance, then you stay, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. You ain't go, oh, my sister died, I gotta go where her husband at. Well, she ain't got no husband. Well, shoot, I hear all them children beefing in the back. She got a husband somewhere. They don't want to hear that. Because that's that new time. That's that new nigga time. We don't care nothing about no new nigga time. Let's keep on going. He said, but he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. They shall be kadash unto their Elohim, and not profane the name of their Elohim. For the offerings of Yahuwah made by fire, and the bread of their Elohim, they do offer. Therefore they shall be kadash. They shall not take a wife that is a whore or profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband, for he is kadash unto his Elohim. You ain't know none of that, did you, son? Yeah, you can't do none of that, boy. But come on down a little bit to verse 21. Yeah, priest can't do none of that, boy. That's a violation amongst the nation. Yeah, you can't do that. No man that have a blemish of the seed of Aaron, the priest shall come nigh to offering the offerings of who are made by fire. He have a blemish. He shall not come near to offer the bread of his Elohim. He shall eat the bread of his Elohim, both of the most Kadash and of the Kadash. Only he shall go in unto the veil, nor only he shall not go in unto the veil, nor come nigh unto the altar, because he have a blemish, that he profane not my sanctuaries, for I am Yahuwah that do sanctify him. So you can't come to that bread, you got that blemish on you, son. You can't offer that. Come on back over here to Samuel. Now, why you think he said if y'all ain't touched no women, you can get this bread? Why you think he said that? You know why he said it? You got an idea? Let me read it to you again, right? He said there's nothing here but hollow bread if the young men have kept themselves from at least women. Now, when they say hollow, it just means kadosh, set apart bread. But why you think he said you can get the bread as long as you see? This is also an example of what Yahushua would talk about when they sized him about eating that corn, and he said, "You ain't never read about David that when the men were hungry." Let me get it for you. Come over here to Matthew chapter 12. You know about that too? I was gonna get you with a joke, but I'm gonna let you live. I'm trying to be serious. What's in Matthew chapter 12? Matthew 12 and 1. You ain't know about Matthew 12 and 1?
Y'all put in that corn. They say y'all working.
He said, y'all working, y'all plucking corn. You like to pluck corn?
No.
Oh, you don't love corn?
I just had corn stuff today.
He loves street corn. Michael, you love street corn too, don't you? Y'all love street corn.
Yes, I do.
Lizzie loves corn. And we know both little muffins love corn. They love corn. Oh, what you doing? Oh. Oh, you love corn? Put that down. That ain't no toy. At the same, this is Matthew 12:1. At the time Yahushua went on Shabbat through the corn, and his disciples were hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, "Behold, your disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon Shabbat." And he said, "Have you not read what David did when he was a hungered, and they that were with him? How he entered into the house of Elohim and did eat the shewbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests. Or have you not read in Torah how on the Shabbat the priests in the temple profane the Shabbat and are blameless? But I say unto you that in this place one is greater than the temple. If you had known what this means, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, and you would have not condemned the guiltless." See, this is a point, right? Because you'll have a lot of rules. You can't cook on the Sabbath. They'll send a nigga away hungry versus cook him something to eat. See, that's the wickedness that people got going on. The priest didn't say, "Oh, I can't give you that bread." He said, "Man, I ain't got no common bread here. I just got this set apart bread." He said, "But as long as y'all ain't had touched no women, I can shoot you this bread." Now, who can tell me according to the law why he said, if y'all ain't touched no women, I can shoot you this bread? Who can answer that question for me? What's that?
Because you can't be unclean, right?
Because you can't. Yeah, but what would have made them unclean?
Like having sex with them.
No, not having sex with a woman does not make you unclean. What makes you unclean is the release of seminal fluid. That's in Leviticus 15. It says if a man has his seed of copulation, then he must wash himself with water. And the woman who he laid with must wash herself with water. See, this is why some, that's right, Jessica, unclean. That's why some people tell people that they can masturbate and all they have to do is take a shower and they won't be wrong. Because there's people who, I don't know if people still teach that, but I know people have taught that. So that's why he said that. Also, what did he say to them before he came down in the mountain Sinai? What did he told them? Before they heard from Yahuwah on the mount, what did he tell them to do? Wash their clothes and don't touch your wives. Don't touch your wives. So let's come on back to Samuel. That's right, Jessica. That's right. That's right. Bird. This looks like you've defiled yourself.
Martin. Cut it out.
Verse 5. David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days since I came out. And the vessels of the young men are Kadash, and the bread is in a manner common, yea, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no bread there but the shoot bread that was taken before Yahuwah to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Now let's look at this. Now, when you look at bread is in a manner, it's the rock or it's way. So this says that the vessels of the young men are a set apart way. A set apart way. Now, we just talked about vessels the other day, right? You are a vessel. He said the vessels have been sanctified or set in a set apart way. See, in Isaiah 35:8, it tells you that there's a highway. It's the way of Kadash. The fools and the unclean will not enter into it. But now I want you to come over here to John chapter 2, real quick, like. Only because I want to establish one point. We already referenced it earlier. What your question is that, yo? Oh, okay, I see. To a certain extent, they do. They apply to those who are either an apostle, a prophet, a pastor, an evangelist, or a teacher. Those rules would apply to them, like you said, with the exception of Levitical temple rituals. So the instructions that pertain to those who are actually in the ministry under the priesthood of Melchizedek. Those instructions still exist to them. I'm glad you mentioned that because I definitely missed that. Come on over here to John chapter 2, verse 18. Then answered the Yahudim and said unto him, what sign show us you unto us that you do these things? Yahushua answered and said unto them, destroy this temple. In 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Yahudim, 46 years with this temple and building. Will you rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. So pause. We looking at showing that Yahushua is the house. And that inside that house is a table with sanctified bread. That not anyone can come partake in. Because come over here to John chapter 6 and 32. Then Yahushua said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven. My Father give you that true bread from heaven. For the bread of Elohim is he which come down from heaven and give life unto the world. Now pause. When you go to Luke chapter 1, right, and they go to telling you this, right, come over here to Luke chapter 1. Screw it. Oh, no, I was in Luke chapter 2. My bad. Luke chapter 2 and 8, if you would. Luke chapter 2 and 8. Oh, you ain't know none of this type of stuff from me. That's a shame. Because I know that's what a lot of dudes do is they sit you down and teach you how to debate. He said there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of Yahuwah came upon them. The esteem of Yahuwah shone round about them. And they were so afraid. The angel said unto them, fear not, for behold, I will bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. Oh, he said he'll bring what? good tidings of great joy. That should make you think about Isaiah 52, how beautiful are the feet of him upon the mountains that bring glad tidings of shalom and peace, that declare unto Zion, your Elohim reign. See, that's what a lot of people missed in regards to the Malachim telling the shepherds where Yahusha was. Why would it be necessary for the shepherds to know? When you look at it that a shepherd is a pastor, it would be necessary for the shepherds to come and give esteem to the chief shepherd, because they would have to come back and give forth the good news or the glad tidings that the chief shepherd has arrived, because this glad tidings is to all men. It's part of the reason why he's born in the house of bread, because he's giving. What did Satan ask Yahusha to take them stones and turn them into bread? Why do you think he was asking him to do that? Because he knew that. See, Satan already knew what the play was. He knew that and he only knows this because that word had came forth. He knew a new covenant was going to be made. So he was tempting Yahusha to do something before the time. When Yahusha resurrected from the dead, what were they dining on that caused the apostles' eyes to open? Bread and fish. But the bread was there. They said, he said, were our eyes not open while we ate bread with him in the way? When you read the text in Acts, and it said the apostles got together for the breaking of what? Bread. Who would tell you a man don't live by alone? But bread alone, for every word that proceed out the mouth of Elohim, do men live, because he's giving you that living bread, which is his son, which is in reality the word. So that's why you see he being born in the house of bread. Because what was the main thing on that set apart table was bread. You had sanctified bread that was only for the priest to eat. What did we just go over a couple weeks ago? You are now made a spiritual priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices to Elohim, acceptable to him by Yahushua HaMashiach. So now you have a right to go in and eat of that set apart bread. But let's continue. It says, and the angel said, I already read that. So he said, for unto you born this day in the city of David, a Savior, which is HaMashiach, the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. Who can tell me what prophet bear witness that Yahushua would be in swaddling clothes? Who can tell me what prophet gave witness? Because it's one who gave witness. Abigail. Who knows what prophet bear witness to the swaddling? Y'all don't know? You know what prophet bear witness? If you touch it, I'm going to pop your head. What prophet gave witness to the swaddling clothes? That wasn't Moses. Yeah, and you missed it long off the rim. Ezekiel it is. Ezekiel 16, if you would. Ezekiel 16.
No.
16 and 4. Ezekiel 16 and 4. And as for your nativity in the day that you was born, your navel was not cut, neither were you walking with the supple you was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. No eye pitied you to do these unto you, to have compassion upon you, but you was cast into the open field to the loathing of your person in the day that you was born. Where was Yahushua laying in the manger at the day he was born? Outside, because there wasn't no room for him in the inn. And that was representative of what happened to Yahshua. Nobody really cared about you. When you look at what Yahushua, the only people that cared about his birth was his mama and Joseph, who was supposed to be his father, and that was it. He said, I caused you to multiply as the bud of the field, you increase wax and great, you come to excellent ornaments, your breasts are fashioned, your hair is grown, where you was naked and bare. Now behold, when I passed by you, look upon you, behold, the time was the time of love, and I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness, and I swear unto you and entered into a covenant with you, saith Yahuwah Elohim, and you became mine. He said, when ain't nobody else want to swallow you, he did it. The same token, when you sit back and look at it, ain't nobody else want to give you a spirit, so he gave it to you. See, we don't like to look at that. Come on to Luke chapter 2 again so we can get up out of here. Hey, you being rude. You being rude. Verse 12, we were at verse 12. Verse 13. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of heavenly hosts praising Elohim, saying, esteem to Elohim in the highest, on earth shalom, and goodwill toward men. Now, a lot of y'all hear that song during Christmas time, which is completely asinine. But the goodwill toward men is that Yahuwah's goodwill has been manifested towards men. The fact that they have an opportunity at salvation and they can come into the house and eat bread. Because Yahushua made a statement, he said, blessed are those. Matter of fact, he said in the book in Luke, you know what I'm saying? Blessed are those who will eat in the kingdom of heaven or dine in the kingdom of heaven, I believe. Come over to Luke 14, I believe that's what I want. That might not be it, though. You want to go to the bathroom? What's wrong with your bladder? You got a bladder problem? Oh, you need to pee. Oh, you've been drinking a lot of water? Oh, you need to go. I'm trying to remember what it said. Luke 14, I was right. Luke 14 and 12. And then he said also to him that bade him, when you make a dinner or a supper, call not your friends or your brethren, neither your kinsmen or your rich neighbors, lest they also bid you again and recompense be made you. But when you make a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, you shall be blessed. For they cannot recompense you, you shall be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. And when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these words, he said unto him, blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of Elohim. Now just sit there and think about that. Because if you're eating bread in the kingdom of Elohim, technically you would be in what? The house of bread. So when you're looking at this here in reality, Yahushua's manifestation of being born in Bethlehem is the manifestation of the literal house of bread on the earth. Because what did he tell you in John 17? That you dwell in him, and he would do what? And if you're dwelling in him, then you will be dwelling in the house of bread. Come back to John chapter 6. Verse 34. And they said unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. Yahushua said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that come to me shall never hunger. He that believe on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you that you also have seen me and believe me not. Because remember, in Psalms, he told you, I'm Yahuwah your Elohim, open up your mouth wide and I'll fill it. You know what I'm saying? He told the same thing to Jeremiah. You know, the manna was described as being a wafer, tasted like honey, sweet to the belly. And that's what Ezekiel said it was when he swallowed that roll. What y'all think he meant when he sit back and he tell you, right, in that prayer, when he taught you to pray to your Father in heaven? What's one of the things he told you in that there? He said, you know, give us what? Daily bread. Niggas thinking it's really talking about a loaf of bread. He talking about that word. You need that every day. Man ain't talking about no bread, not no literal bread. He is talking about literal bread, and he ain't talking about literal bread. We know he talking about literal bread because that's Proverbs chapter 30. Give me food convenient for me. Because I don't want to be rich and forget Yahuwah, and I don't want to be poor and steal and take the name of my Elohim in vain. You know what it means to take Yah's name in vain? No, that don't take his name in vain. You know what makes his name in vain? When you claim him in sin. That's what makes his name worthless. When you run around here saying Yahuwah this, Yahuwah that, and then you do things that are contrary to him. So when you around here saying you a servant of Yahuwah and you stealing out the corner store, you know what I'm talking about? Or how some of these dudes out here punking, talking about they servants of Yahuwah. Oh, this man, you done made the man name worthless. Why? Because now, why would I fear a God that you don't fear? That's what some people don't understand. Why are you talking to somebody about? That's like telling somebody you better do what daddy say, but you don't do what daddy say. So why would I do what daddy say and you don't? Why are you trying to persuade me to do this and you don't do it? You know what I'm saying? So nigga, what? I don't respect that. Do it. Yeah, that's the. A lot of y'all people probably told you that. All right now, baby, do as I say now, not as I do. You hypocritical whore. That's what you is. When I say whore, I'm talking about you rebellious, you're stubborn, you're proud. Because you feel like that's acceptable to tell somebody to do opposite of what you do, but do what I tell you to do. And what did Yahushua tell you? To beware of the leaven of the scribes and the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Because if you're dealing with leaven, what are you dealing with? Bread. That's bad bread. What kind of bread you eating? What them boys came and brought in that bread to Joshua them in that book, man? Like, what kind of bread that was? That was moldy bread. See, that's what them boys was serving you. That moldy bread. The type of bread give you diarrhea. You know what I'm talking about? See, we don't serve no moldy bread here, boy. We like Subway, nigga. This bread always fresh and hot, nigga. Huh? See, we like do it like Olive Garden, nigga. For them bread sticks run out, nigga, you get a fresh bowl. You don't know nothing about that fresh bowl. That boy go crazy. You know Olive Garden. What that place used to sell them yeast rolls? God, no. Not Ryan's. It was somebody else that sold you. Quincy's Steakhouse. You know what I'm saying? They kept them hot yeast rolls. Boy, Monica, you tapping your face like you know about them yeast rolls. You were too busy eating them KFC biscuits. They playing that. I know. I worked that too. Only way.
Church got the best biscuits.
That's a lie from here.
They run.
Man,
The same thing we said about
them Chick-fil-A biscuits be hit.
oh, Hardy.
Oh, Hardy biscuits trash.
Hardy?
Can't eat no Hardy biscuit plain.
You gotta jam it.
Popeye biscuits on point.
No, Popeye biscuits. No, they.
But this is my point.
They make it out.
But this is my point though. My point is that moldy bread. See, we got a video from long time ago when I said that it came back to my mind. What kind of bread you eat? And that's what you got to ask yourself. You eating that scribe and Pharisee bread, or you eating that bread of the lamb? What type of bread you eating? See, I told you, boy, you've been eating that leaven from the scribe. You've been eating that Gibeonite bread. That's why you got diarrhea and you got stomach ulcers and stuff like that. Your stomach ain't right. But we'll stop right there, though, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua word. I appreciate y'all. Let's show out the house of you who are named Yahushua. You are willing, we'll pick it up next week. We still got a few more cities to go. But we just want to talk about Bethlehem today, man. I appreciate y'all, man. You know, y'all willing, something come to mind, understanding be brought forth, wisdom be executed in your hearts, the Ruach be granted to you, and your soul be saved. And we give major esteem to you who are named Yahushua and continually stand firm on his word and endure to the end that your soul might be saved. Until the next time.